How you doing?
I'm a little sleepy.
Me too.
But I'm good.
You know, I took some NyQuil and I feel like it has lasting effects. Like I still feel drunk.
I feel like whenever I take NyQuil, it's the same. The next morning I'm like, I don't feel rested. I feel sleepy.
Yeah. So I guess if you guys are excited about this episode.
I mean, this is a great movie. Our energy is not matching the movie, but it will.
Okay.
It will. We need to be in another universe.
Hi, I'm Alpha Bridge. I'm from the Alphaverse. Oh, hello, I'm Alpha Bridge.
Oh, God.
I look like Beavis and Butthead.
That's great.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello. How we doing?
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome to the... Oh, we're not in the Alphaverse. Well,
we're in a weird verse.
You know what? We probably are.
Been really tough. And maybe we're from the Posiverse to be positive.
Oh, yeah. This sounds like one of my social emotional learning lessons for the children. What you're talking about. Like, we gotta go to positive universe land, kids. And they're all like, yeah.
They're like, okay.
All right, listeners, let me introduce ourselves. So, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And Raccacoonie!
Raccacoonie! Ratatouille? No.
Ratatouille? No!
Raccacoonie!
I have this second watch through of this movie, which, by the way, we're doing everything everywhere all at once. This is our nostalgic happy hour. Not nostalgic. But this watch through in this movie, I was like, wow, this movie is basically like the explanation for the Mandela effect. Do you know what that is?
Yeah!
Yeah, that's what I felt like this was, and that part made me think of that, where I was like, wait, but Raccacoonie is real in another universe. So really, it's like the Mandela effect, where we think things are real, but they're not. In our universe, we maybe are. And that's what I thought about.
It's like all those cereal boxes. It's like, do you remember the Trix kid having a purple hat? Or,
That the biggest one I feel like I always hear is how people think that Sinbad played a genie in a movie called Shazam, but it was Shaq playing a genie in Kazam.
So that's
people are convinced it was Sinbad.
So that's like racist Mandela.
Yes, it really is.
Wow. It's your turn to summarize whatever the hell this movie was. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Good luck. I'm going to take a nap. I'll be back, okay?
Okay. Let me get a piece of my Valentine's Day chocolate for motivation.
Wow. Okay. I am too. I'm going to get some too.
Well, this movie is kind of linear, but also not, of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strong start.
So here's our main characters. The main character is Evelyn.
Oh.
She is a wife, a mother, a business owner, an immigrant. She's killing it, but not really, because business is failing, and her husband just asked for a divorce. And her daughter's sad all day, so it's not great. But Evelyn is married to Waymond, who asked for a divorce. Not great. Waymond's super chipper. Love the energy. I need him with me in the mornings.
Kills people with kindness.
I want that as an alarm clock. Like, get me up, Waymond. Start my day off on a good foot. Thank you. And Evelyn's not that. Evelyn's a little grouchy grumps.
Yeah.
And she's like, everything sucks. And then there's her daughter, Joy. Ironically named Joy. Joy is very sad. Should have been named Sad. But then she gets happy, I would argue later. So they're a little family, and it seems like this is just normal people, and like everything's chaotic, but they're getting audited. So Evelyn, she's like going through all her receipts and stuff for the business, and they end up having to go to the IRS to meet with the auditor, who is Deirdre, who is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Wow.
Amazing. Wow. Literally, this description I have in front of me says, Deirdre, the shadow shabbily dressed IRS auditor. Sir, who wrote this?
Wow.
But that doesn't go great. And on their way to the audit, Waymond isn't Chipper Waymond. He becomes like serious man Waymond. And he basically is like, hey, Evelyn, this is kind of like the Matrix. I'm choosing you and life isn't what it seems. So you gotta do weird shit and just like listen to me. And then she's like, what? And then it goes back to normal Waymond. And you're like, we're confused. And we are confused for a while. But essentially you come to find that there are multiple universes and people have learned to jump into different ones. And they do that by doing weird things that are kind of silly.
Wow.
And the reason that Evelyn is getting roped into this is because there is an evil, bad person who is Jobu, not Chewbacca. That's what they say is a joke, but that's not really it. Tupaki? Is that it?
Tupaki.
Jobu Tupaki.
Oh, okay.
Jobu Tupaki.
I'm pretty sure I said that, but okay.
I'm so sorry. And you froze, so I didn't know what was going on. Thought you were in a universe. Now you're back. Okay. So Jobu Tupaki is bad, and she is going and killing all the Evelyns in every universe. And you're like, damn, this is a metaphor. And then it's really a metaphor because you find out that Jobu is played by the same actress as Joy. So it's basically a multiverse version of Joy. And it's wow.
She's got mommy issues.
It's a lot of family dynamic happening.
Yeah.
So Evelyn has to learn how to jump through, and you can gain different skills by doing different things. But through this, she kind of sees herself in different universes and is like, wow, my life could have been so much cooler, and like, my life sucks and whatever. And then there's a lot of spiritual journey, all right? And she learns to fight and she gets aggressive, but that's not really working. So then she gets to a point where she's just like, screw my real life. I'm over being complacent. Everything sucks. And then she makes everyone more sad, even though she was already making everyone sad. And it's sad. And I'm sad. And I get sad. And you should be sad too, because it's so sad. And then she has her... I'm sorry, the brave little toaster is popping in my head. She has her yellow flower moment with the toaster head.
Wow, she really does.
And the yellow flower is Waymond. And Waymond is like, you gotta stop fighting and you gotta be nice. And then she's like, I'm gonna do it. And then she does. And it fixes everything. And wow. There's a lot more cool shit happening in there, by the way. But that's the gist. And then in the end, everyone's a little nicer, I think. We hope. We assume. That's it.
Wow.
It's a trip.
If you haven't seen this movie and you heard that synopsis, it doesn't even cover half of what's in the movie.
No, I didn't even talk about Raccacoonie in there. Come on.
I felt like you mentioned the Matrix. One of the things I think is important to realize that I thought was so cool is when they jump to universes where they've had totally separate lives, they could have had like an incredible skill. So they can like jump back, get that skill, and then bring it to a new universe.
Yeah.
And Kate, if you're thinking about the multiple Katies in the world, like what cool stuff are you working on in these other universes that you could just kind of like pop in? Like what if you're a famous singer and we're doing this stupid podcast where you should be singing, on stage like a pop star.
Oh.
But I love that. That was very Matrix. Because you remember that scene in the Matrix where they're like, Neo, we're going to upgrade this thing in your head so you're like the Kung Fu master. And then he's like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. It's very interesting. We followed Mortal Kombat.
Bridge, it wasn't planned, but yeah, there are connections.
Michelle Yeoh would win the tournament.
Absolutely. She'd be like, oh, you want me to say I won't fight and use the technicality? No, I'm gonna fucking fight. And I'm gonna win with my pinky. And fuck you. And it would have been awesome.
Okay, by the way, she has like real martial arts skills.
Oh my god, she was in Crouching Tiger.
Hidden Dragon. You're there.
Yes.
You're there. And
so cool.
It's the way that they shot the fight scenes was these like wide lenses so you could see every everyone's full body, no cut shots.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Sorry.
And I was just like, I don't know, if you start to like pay attention, it's like, oh my God, she's actually, there's no like stunt person.
Yeah.
Or if there probably was sometimes, but it wasn't like very obvious. You know how in some movies it's distracting?
Yeah. Well, Three Ninjas Bridge. We'll never forget Grandpa.
Girl, we won't forget that one.
Oh, yeah.
Man. But like 80% of it is very physical. And you said to me last episode that this movie has these actors playing multiple people.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, what a dream for these actors.
Right? Isn't that like the coolest?
So cool. Oh my God. How and where do we begin? And I feel like, well, I guess my life isn't exactly like that, but I think we've all felt like Evelyn at some point. Michelle Yeoh. Like, we've all been like, we're fucking overwhelmed as we
every
sit on
year
that
I
table.
have to do my taxes.
Yes.
I have never been audited, knock on wood, because I don't make enough money for anyone to care. But
and
like,
you have a laundry business.
And I don't have a business, right? But like, that's how I feel, where she had everything like just spread out. And I was like, oh no.
So I read they call them the Daniels, the two directors.
Oh yeah, because they're both Dan.
They're Daniel something and Daniel something, and of
Daniel
course
Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
Perfect.
Sure.
In another universe, that's how it's pronounced. And so they originally were gonna do Jackie Chan as a lead,
as Waymond.
No, well, possibly, but have like the protagonist be a male. And then as they kind of started like formulating the story and they like began to film it, they switched it and were like, no, it should be Evelyn. Like, it should be a female perspective. And Kate, that is very rare for two male directors to be like, you know what? Because she crushed it. She crushed it. Wow,
okay,
wow,
we
wow,
love
wow,
it.
Wow.
Love it. I also love how our villain, if you will, was also a lady. So that was pretty cool too.
Oh my God. There's this like darkness for lighting on the film. And seeing her in that apartment right above the laundromat or wherever it is, where if something like overflows in the laundromat, they bring it into the apartment. And I'm just like, oh my God, work and life literally combined. Waymond handing her divorce papers. Her daughter is totally sad, and then she's got her asshole dad coming to visit, all while throwing a party for the laundromat.
Yeah, I kind of was like, this is a busy day.
Why are we doing all that? And being audited.
And we're being audited.
You know, I want to talk about when we get to the auditing receipts, where she would write down random things and claim it as a business expense, but like it was just her hobby. But like, was that multiverse stuff?
No, I think that was stuff for the party. Because it was like you wrote a karaoke machine, which they use at the party, and then that's what Waymond goes, she's a great singer. Sing her something, right? So good. Waymond was great.
He was great, but I did feel for her in the beginning. I kept thinking, like, tone it down, bro. And also, like, you're also handing her divorce papers. I was like, I don't know about you. Like, are you actually helping? And then the fact that he puts on googly eyes.
Oh my God.
What if you got your laundry and there was a bunch of googly eyes on your undies? What would you do?
Them. Oh, on my undies? Oh, I don't know about that. If it was on, like, the bag, maybe that's fine. But I don't know about, like, on my
But she's, like,
items.
stressed. And then I thought this was really interesting because right away you get hit with, like, the immigrant dichotomy of, I left my father and married this guy who he said wasn't great to start a better life, and we have this laundromat for my future child to have all these opportunities, but the reality is Joy doesn't really do anything in life and is kind of just aimlessly wandering and sad. And so having her meet the dad, like, you could just tell there's like just a lot of muck. And she's also then like a lesbian and trying to introduce her new girlfriend Becky, who's a great character.
Yeah.
And obviously the grandfather, she's like, I don't know if you should tell him. And I think that's like, there's a lot happening in the first like 2 minutes.
I mean, we're not immigrants, but that, like, that setup, I could see that happening with a lot of it's like a generational thing where I could see people giving that excuse, but it obviously hit a lot more home that it was a Chinese immigrant family.
Well, and the pressure to be like, everything should be perfect. That was what you felt from her. Like, oh, he's coming. Everything needs to be perfect. That's why I like left and like completely went to a new country. And I was so stressed. I was like, oh, this movie's a lot.
Well, we get more stressed because we immediately go to the audit. And also before that, Mom makes Joy cry. So that's the first cry of the movie. That's great. It's not great. It's bad.
Because she introduces Becky as a friend.
She does.
And not a girlfriend. Which I would be upset too if I was Joy.
And then the mom says, Joy, you're gaining weight. And I was like, well, we've all been there. So, ow.
We've all been there, but what was funny with Becky is she's like, oh, isn't that your mom showing love?
Yeah.
Isn't that like your culture? And she was like, sure.
She's like, it still sucks. Well, so we go to this audit, and at this audit, this is Evelyn, Waymond, and the dad, whose name is Gong Gong?
Yes.
Okay. Gong Gong's in a wheelchair, so, they're just kind of rolling him, and Waymond is, like, sad, and he's seeing, like, a couple in love, and he's like, wah, I wish we had that, but Evelyn thinks I'm annoying, so that sucks. And then this is the first introduction to Alpha Waymond. Ooh! Who takes over, he Raccacoonies regular Waymond and takes over and explains some of what's happening, but also not really.
Did you notice, because you watched it twice, when they're in the laundromat, before this, did you notice him like karate flipping in the cameras?
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because I was waiting for I read all about it, and I was like, when's the universe happening? And there's a camera shot where he's like, you could see him becoming the other person.
Oh, he
where
was
people
Alpha
aren't looking.
Waymond
yeah,
in
where people
like
aren't
the
looking.
background?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, I thought you would have seen that. Okay, all right, so I'm following. We're back.
Okay, so this is... What? Okay, so this is where... Oh, okay. Okay, that was I'm sorry, your Zoom is freezing a little, so I'm like, is she frozen? Is it a noise? Are we in the middle of a word? I don't know. Okay, all right. So Evelyn's basically like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. I don't know what's going on. And then he goes back to Norman Waymond, and you're like, that's weird. But he was basically like, you can go to the closet, or you can just like go sit where you're supposed to, or you could switch your shoes and then like do the cool stuff. And she's like, that's kooky. So we meet Deirdre, who is the auditor, and now we also like come to find that like I think she's already worked with this family in some capacity, because she's kind of like, okay, everything's still wrong, and like, what's happening? Like, we're gonna have to seize your business and assets if you can't figure this out. And this is when Waymond is like, oh yeah, she's a singer and a massage person. And he's trying. And he also makes Deirdre cookies. And Waymond goes, Miss Deirdre likes the cookies. Gotta give her the cookies. Okay. He's so pure.
Let's talk though about, it's kind of jarring seeing Jamie Lee Curtis, because she's pretty IRS-y.
In the bowl cut. This outfit and look was based off of a real IRS worker that someone took a professional photo of. By the way, like what?
It was schlubby. It was somebody, which I feel like this is me these days, that has like food on their shirt, like just a mess. Okay.
But you do not have butt plug trophies on your desk.
Oh my God, that's part of the film. I don't know how I feel about it, but
wow.
You got this like kind of energy from her where she was just like, I know more than you. This is serious.
Yeah.
You guys don't take me, pay attention. Like, she just came off so,
Yes.
I can't, but you know what? I'm going to give it to these IRS agents. Can you imagine working there? Like, that's got to be tough.
It sounds like it sucks.
I bet.
And this is where we first kind of see that, and apparently this was going to be like more of a subplot or more pronounced of a piece in this movie, was that Evelyn has undiagnosed ADHD, which I laughed so fucking hard because I was like, this is our mom. Someone's talking about something really important and there's just too much happening, too many distractions. She's not listening. She's looking around. She's switching her shoes. Yeah, it's like, I was like, this is actually our mom.
Yeah.
If she hasn't had her 12 cups of coffee to self-medicate.
True. That's true.
But Evelyn does decide to do the weird shoe switch, and she clicks a little earpiece, which I thought it was also funny that no one was like, where'd you get that earpiece, Evelyn? Anyway, who cares? And then she gets into the other universe somewhere, and then Alpha Waymond tells her more stuff. This is where you first find out about the evil Jobu Tupaki Tupaki. Oh my God.
Okay, what was so cool about the universes is she jumps into the new universe. She's in the janitor closet. And Waymond's like, we don't have time. They're trying to kill us. And like, it's so like transparent that she also like morphs back into the other universe. So she's not, it's not like, I feel like most movies are like, you're in the new universe, clean cut. They played a lot about bouncing back and forth. And it wasn't confusing. Like, they were smart about changing locations because she basically wore the same outfit the whole time.
Yeah.
But I thought they did that well because, like, I read the visual effects artists, there was, like, only a team of 5.
Wait, and they, like, taught themselves. Like, they weren't professionally trained or something. It was, like, they learned, like, how to do it themselves.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. So that was the first time that I was like, ooh, I like this back and forth because Jamie Lee Curtis is, like, yelling at her, like our mom, to pay attention. And I'm like, but she's actually in another universe. It's not her fault.
Well, and it was also, too, how the movie was like, we're not just having our main people be different characters. Everybody's gonna be different characters. And this is where Jamie Lee Curtis becomes evil Jamie Lee Curtis, and she literally kills Waymond and then kills Evelyn in another universe. And I loved that so much. That was so fun.
I feel like I want to sit down. There's a really great quote from, was it the Golden Globes? That was the last thing.
Yes.
And she just kind of went on like, I'm 64. You know, she was like, I can't believe I get opportunities like this, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like she gave this movie like 300%. Because when she switched to like evil IRS agent, I was like, ah! Like, I was like, is this the villain? Is this the main villain? Because I'm like terrified. And she had sumo wrestler moves.
Oh, that's a lot.
And she would staple things to her forehead and then take people and smash their backs on her knee. I don't know what was happening.
But then even when she was hot dog finger lady, I was like, I believe this too. I totally believe that you two are like in love with your hot dog fingers and you do weird stuff with your feet. And oh my God. I mean, I hate, like I said, I don't know if we were recording when I said this. I hated it, but I also kind of loved it. It's a weird relationship.
I can't.
All right. So we essentially, life gets going and the IRS person's like, this is all wrong. And then Waymond does his kind of like, you know, talking where he's like, give us till tonight. She's like, okay. So they go to leave. But Michelle Yeoh, because she just saw like Jamie Lee Curtis kill Alpha Waymond, but it wasn't Alpha Waymond, it was someone else. I don't know. She's like, uh-oh, she's coming to kill me because she's got that crazy look in her eye. She's got that Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween look in her eye. Like, when she's coming Michael Myers at me. Whoa. Woo! And so Michelle Yeoh punches her, but this is the normal universe. Then the security comes, and then Waymond becomes Alpha Waymond and kicks ass with a fanny pack. And it's amazing.
It was so good.
It was so good.
I don't know if he has those skills, but it looked like him the whole time.
I think it was him the whole time.
Oh my God.
You could definitely tell some of the fight, they did speed up the footage sometimes, but still, like, I think a lot of the stuff that was going on was, like, genuine moves that were happening.
It was so cool to have the dichotomy of the most boring office space with, like, the silliest fighting.
Yeah.
And I was a little confused sometimes because, like, in the normal universe, some people understood they were jumping and other people had no idea and couldn't remember things. And I was like, I'm actually confused too, Michelle Yeoh. I would punch her too. Like, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, it gets crazy. And then, so we basically get more exposition. She and Waymond are on the run. They lost Grandpa, but he's okay, according to Alpha Waymond. And then we see him later and he's totally okay. And you see more of Jobu Tupaki, and this is where you see, oh shit, this is Joy. And Joy, like, comes into the office and she murders. Like, a lot of murder.
Okay, I'm gonna say it once, but I'll say it again. The outfits that
Bridget,
she wore.
Thank God, I was waiting for it.
Out of control.
Outfits.
It was like they took Nicki Minaj's makeup artist with like RuPaul and like combined it somehow with like who's that guy Sam? Who's the singer
Sam Smith?
Yeah. And they were just like, and then Broadway. And I was like, wow.
Yep.
If someone isn't her for Halloween, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Your friend group could be the multiple Jobu Tupakis, and that would be awesome too. I want to be the one with the pig. I want to be the one with the pig. Pig on a leash. That's me. I call it. I called it.
Wow.
That's me.
Amazing.
But she comes in, and this is where Evelyn first sees, oh shit, this is the evil lady. Oh shit, that's like my daughter. What the fuck? And she kills a bunch of guys, and she gives her own exposition, and you come to find that she's basically like, yeah, I'm everywhere. And that's like the first part of this movie, because the movie kind of like sets itself up with the different pieces of the title. She's like, yeah, I'm everywhere all the time, and it's like stupid, and I hate it, and I'm like sad, but I'm not saying I'm sad, but I am giving you indication I'm sad, but it's coming off as I'm like existential, but really I'm depressed and should talk to someone, but instead I'm just gonna murder everyone, and I made a bagel, so come on down.
All right.
Evelyn's like, what? And that's what I was like.
I was offended as a New Jersey native
Whoa.
that they chose an everything bagel to be like a death black hole.
Wait, hold on. I found a really good quote about it, and let me see if I can find it without stopping my recording.
That's not what bagels give me. Bagels give me joy, okay? They don't give me death.
The living contradiction that is the everything bagel. If you put everything on a bagel, what more is left? And if you've experienced everything that the multiverse can offer, what's the point of any of it?
Woo!
That's some deep shit.
Wait, one more thing too.
Yeah.
So my understanding with Jobu Tupaki, aka Joy,
Yeah.
is that Evelyn in another universe pushed her
Right.
daughter so hard. This is the immigrant.
This is the
storyline.
Alpha in the Alpha universe.
Pushed her daughter so hard to like avoid the aimlessness that she's in now, and basically broke her brain. And then I was reading that it's like a metaphor for the internet, because like the internet, if you like kind of experience too much stuff, like your brain kind of breaks because it's like it's too much. And I'm really afraid for the metaverse.
We know, Bridge, the metaverse. We know. There is no everything bagel metaverse,
all of
Bridge.
you, even though I'll probably have to build it at my job, okay? I'm afraid.
Guys, if you ever go to another multiverse, make sure you ask Multiverse Bridget how she feels about the metaverse, because I want to know if there's a universe where she is not afraid of it. There's gotta be one. At least one.
I mean, if I'm a movie star from my Kung Fu Pinky, I'm fucking down for that one. But that doesn't seem like everyone's gonna get that.
Well, essentially, Evelyn, like, she's getting this kind of exposition and viewpoint from Jobu, and she's like, no, you're my daughter. And then that goes away because Grandpa zooms in on a Zoom wheelchair. Amazing. I want that. Full zoom all the time. But this is Alpha Grandpa, and he basically takes her away, and then he's like, listen, we gotta kill her. And she's like, that's my daughter. I can't kill her. And he's like, it's not your daughter. She's evil. You have to kill her. So this becomes like an internal struggle she's having because she gets reunited with her actual Waymond husband, and then she also sees regular Joy, which I thought was funny too, because when you see the regular Joy, she's literally in that weird like pink golf outfit, and she's just like, Mom, what's going on? And I was like, girl, are you worried about your outfit? Where'd you don't even know where you got that from. But she doesn't question it. And this is where we hear about Raccacoonie because Evelyn's trying to explain how their bodies are being used like puppets, and she goes, it's like Raccacoonie.
Oh my god. Which at this point with Waymond, she's like, I don't like you. I like the other Waymond. I'm like, ooh.
And we did skip that. That's an important part, I would argue, is how she learns to level up, and like she gets crazy kung fu skills. She beats up Jamie Lee Curtis. But right before that, she sees her life if she didn't go with Waymond. And that's where the one where she became a famous movie star and she was like rich and everything's great. And she turns to Waymond, is real life Waymond, and she goes, I saw my life if I didn't marry you, and it was really amazing, and I wish I did that. And you're like, damn!
Ouch.
Hated it.
He took it on the chin.
Oh my god. So
I hated it too. I was like, that's a little much. I know you're confused, but that's a little much.
A little fucking rude. Okay. Thank you.
I agree.
So anyway, Raccacoonie, this is really important for me. So I just want you guys to all understand. Because now every time I go to a hibachi restaurant, which I went to one recently, and I was like, guys, do you know about Raccacoonie? And nobody knew. So that's upsetting. But yeah. And this is where, again, Grandpa's like, you gotta kill her. You gotta kill this version. And she's like, she's not the evil one. And they're like, it doesn't matter. It'll like keep her out of another universe. multiverse. And it's the middle of the movie, so we all assume, okay, she's not going to kill her daughter. And she doesn't.
I didn't want her to. I was like, no.
But
No,
this
how
is
do you
where
do
she develops her plan. Her new plan is, I'm going to like save her. Like, I'm going to turn her from not being evil to being good. Which is a better plan than murder. I
like
think.
that plan. That's a good plan.
Yeah. So this is then when more people who are multiverse jumping come in. And yeah, a lot of people. We see a lot of fights and things. There's like a secret sex dungeon happening. That's a subplot, kind of. What? Oh my. Lots going on.
Well, and I kept getting confused because one of the things that they show is like a phone screen where it's like a big giant spider web chart.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like a green blinking light and it's like, here's your real life.
Yeah.
And then all these little like, you know, different lines point to these other universes. And the farther you are away, the more unlike yourself you are. Yeah. And they described that like Evelyn is actually like also evil, but also the only one to save her daughter or to fight her daughter to save everyone else, because basically all the other universes will explode. So it goes from like a little problem to like, you're going to save the world. Like,
this is Mortal Kombat in the sense of like, hey, we just met you. This is crazy, but you're responsible for saving the lives of everyone in the world. Good luck. And you're like, wait, uh-oh. Oh my God. Yeah, and there is a part where the Alpha Waymond says to Evelyn, who's like the normal Evelyn, he's like, you're literally the Evelyn that made all the wrong choices. Like, you're the worst. You're terrible. And that's why you're gonna win. And you're like, whoa, that was a weird backhanded compliment.
Didn't know where we were going. Didn't know how we got there.
I got lost, but okay. But Evelyn kicks some ass. Oof. And speaking of ass, Bridge, we got some butt stuff coming up. Be ready.
Okay. You warned me about this movie being emotional. And I was kind of like I wasn't getting the tears up like that quickly. Like not until the end when she really like is with her daughter and they're really like getting to that final part. But the butt plug and the Raccacoonie, I just laughed out loud. I have yet to like actually laugh randomly in a movie like that because it was so absurd. I was like, what the hell is happening?
I just thought it was so funny, like this concept of you have to do something weird and it gives you like a cool skill. And if I was in their shoes and they're like, okay, to get the skill, you gotta shove something up your butt, I'd be like, right, so pass? What's the next? What else? Yeah, what else like, can I do?
I can't do anything else weird.
Anything else. And also, there's gotta be other options.
I wouldn't argue that that's weird. It's weird when you do it in public with your pants off.
And the guy literally like flies through the air and butt first lands.
Oh,
I mean, obviously butt first, but like, you know what I mean.
But the scene of fucking Evelyn in between the two of them as they're flying past her and she double fist pulls out the butt plug so they lose their powers. I was like, what's happening?
I feel like there'd be more bodily liquids, but wow, pardon the pun, but
that was a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, we did not talk about this. Jenny Slate is in this movie. She is a character with a dog.
Okay, this was giving me some real Kill Bill vibes.
Yo.
With the freaking girl, the crazy child with Goku, who whips her little chain ball thing. But Jenny Slate was whipping her little toy dog.
Wouldn't be me. Also, her character is Debbie the dog mom. That's her character's name. That's what I have to be said. Wow. Yeah, she uses her dog as a weapon. Wouldn't be my choice, but I wish the dog could like level up and do some multiverse stuff. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh my God, what if we could level up our dogs to talk to us?
My dog, he would easily level up because he does weird shit all the time. Like, he would be getting new skills every second.
What would he get?
I don't know. Who
Can
knows?
he work on the skill that after he drinks water, he doesn't lick water on you? Can he level up that skill? Because your pants are soaked when you hang out with Bear.
That one. He's a licker. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so through all this, we're fighting. It's a lot of fighting. And at some point, and I don't really remember how this happens, but at some point, things get messed up. And it basically explained that Evelyn's kind of like, oh, you're going too ham, Evelyn, you know, and you're getting like into all the places at once and it's messing up your mind and stuff. And she's like, no, I got to keep going to save my daughter. And then Jobu is like, well, you're becoming like me. And that's going to screw things up. And then it like, I'm pretty sure around then, we then get kicked back to like normal time. But this is the everywhere part where now it's it's literally like, okay, the party's happening. Remember that party for Grandpa? Okay, party's happening. But because Evelyn is now going in all different places at once, it gets crazy.
Well, in the real life, she forgot to go back to the IRS and she gave her an extension. She missed it.
She did.
Then she just breaks a window in the laundromat. So then she gets arrested.
Breaks a window. Also is like, yeah, Waymond, I'll divorce you. Screw you. And you're like, whoa, shit.
I mean, that's a pretty wild laundromat party, but like... It's pretty nuts. She gets nuts.
It does get crazy. Deirdre's there too. Hey, Deirdre, what's up, girl? But I think this is the part of the movie where we actually see her go to like all the different universes and are like there for a little bit longer. So this is like, we see Hot Dog Finger universe, which is gross, but also silly, but it's gross. And then we see Raccacoonie universe. And then we see a little bit more of her as a famous actress universe where she learned martial arts from a person about the pinky, and
they took a lot of Kill Bill inspiration. They really did.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a lot of like stuff like that. Also, Jobu is now like, yeah, you're becoming like me, and it's crazy. And she's kind of trying to again impress her, like, I'm depressed. Aren't you depressed? You should be depressed. And then Evelyn's like, I am depressed, and that's why she like is rude to everyone and is like, screw all you. You all suck. And you're like, Evelyn, you're gonna get arrested in this universe. Come on, girl. Get it together. At some point, they become rocks, which I love that scene.
My freaking God.
It was really great.
So what was it so interesting about the unraveling is in her mind, it was like nothing matters. So I could just be I could be crazy to people and jump somewhere else and nothing matters. And like, I won't talk about the metaverse, but I will talk about the internet and how some people can just write a really mean comment and then they just get to log out of the app. And like, that's the same thing. Cause to somebody else, you just like fucking ruin their life, but you never get to see it. And so it's kind of sad, like seeing her no consequences.
Yeah.
And I think what was interesting about it is her daughter was like, all right, cool, just come into the bagel with me. And then she's like, I don't know if I believe the bagel, but she got close.
See, the bagel, like I took the bagel as like, she wanted to like end her life because she's like I don't want to experience what I'm experiencing because there's nothing. Yeah. Like I have no feeling and this sucks. And I've been to every universe and I'm sad all the time. So I just want to like be gone. And you're like, oh, that's like really sad and I hate it.
I hated it.
And like Evelyn at one point is kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm into the bagel, like maybe. But I would argue what ends up maybe turning things around, I think there's a couple things that end up turning things around. One of which is, again, Waymond comes in with the assist. He goes, Deirdre, I know my wife just broke a window with a bat. It's not looking good, okay? But listen, I baked you some cookies. We're having a tough time. Give us another week or something. And Deirdre's like, okay, Waymond, I love you. And so
he's amazing.
She gets an extension and she does not get arrested. And then she kind of is like, oh my God, what? And she goes and talks to Deirdre. She's like, what did my silly husband say to you? And Deirdre's like, well, he said that you were just like really sad and there was a tough time and the divorce and I get it. And then you're like, oh shit, Deirdre.
I know. I was like,
sweet.
Oh. And she was like, when I had my divorce, I ran through my neighbor's kitchen.
Yeah. So I feel like that like helps turn things a little. And then also the experience she has where she is in the movie star universe where she has a conversation with that universe's Waymond where she's like, wow, you're awesome. Let's like hang out. And he's like, no. Like we parted ways and that's not that. And then she tells him like, well, in another universe we get together and it's terrible. So let's get together now because like life is good for us. us. And he's like, actually, that sounds awesome. And I would have loved to be in that universe with you, but we're not. And you're like, wait a minute. You're so
I
nice.
love him.
But he says a very good line where he's essentially like, you think I'm naive by being optimistic and like hopeful and nice, when really like that's my way I fight, or that's his way of surviving. And you're like, that's so beautiful. And like, oh, it's like very much therapy. Like, we got to change our depression. We got to find the hope. Get rid of the bagel. Okay. Put the pork roll on, but not just the bagel. Am I right? You know? Oh my God. I loved it.
When he starts screaming at her, like, enough. Just be nice. Just be nice. That's when I started crying.
Yeah. Because we flip back to the office. This is the big fight showdown back in that office space. And this is where Jobu's like, I'm walking to the bagel up the stairs dramatically. And you're like, nah, not that bagel.
But he basically says, like, let her go.
Yeah.
Stop fighting everything. Just let her go. And then you see her start to be nicer. She, like, then completely changes into each random person. They start to, like, experience her kindness.
Yeah.
It's very much like the, like, just open the door for somebody, and then that because you did that nice thing, then they'll open the door for someone else, and, you know, just like they'll pick up the coins someone dropped. I don't know. It was very, like, the effects were interesting within the one universe, and it's not that she needed to level up. It was like you had it in you the whole time.
Right.
And so that was so cool, because it's like you're so power hungry, but really we just all need just love and kindness. You're like,
this is why it was like the yellow flower for Brave Little Toaster Bridge, where Toaster's like, I gotta be fucking nice to Blanky, or he's gonna die like that flower. And like, I think I like Blanky, so maybe I should be nice. And yeah.
Blanky is Waymond in the Brave Little Toaster universe.
Oh, yes. And who's Lampy? Who do we think? No.
I don't know.
No Lampies.
I don't know.
The grandpa's definitely vacuum. Definitely Kirby with the wheels and his grumpiness.
Okay, but she lets her go, and so she goes into the hole.
Oh.
But then she's like, JK, I want to get out of the hole. Help me, Mom. And then she helps her.
Well, and then we're seeing that what's a fight scene, and then it flips back to like real time in the laundromat. And she, at one point, she goes up to her dad and she says, Dad, you're rude to me. And I acted just like you. And I didn't like how you did it to me. And I realized that that's what I've been doing to my daughter. And I don't want to do that anymore. So you gotta step off. By the way, Becky is Joy's girlfriend.
Step off!
Jack Black comes in. And she introduces Becky as the girlfriend. So you're like, that is so nice. But Joy gets really upset because it's just too much at once. It's too much of a turnaround. We're not used to the 180. And then that's where Jobu is like, okay, fucking bye. I'm going to the bagel. And then, yeah, at first, Evelyn's like, all right, bye. But then she's like, no, I love you. Don't leave. And so she gets her back out there. And then all the other family members help pull her out. Dude, it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful because they're a beautiful disaster. They really are.
And they're doing like fights, like her and Jobu like do fights, but she's not really fighting. She's just like hugging her. And I thought about this because you said this for Mortal Kombat with your hip hop class where you had to like do poses before you started. And like she does a pose where she's like, what? And then she's like, just like goes open for a hug. And I was like, I like that one. I might do that one too. Like,
what if you were in a street fight, Kate, and you just set it up like you're gonna take someone down, and then you open your arms for a hug,
and they're just like, wait, what are you gonna do now? I also like this one where she was like, pinky, and then it's like the pinky fighting. I love it.
Oh my God.
It was so awesome. And then in the real world, you have one final kind of climax, big argument between Mom and Joy, where Joy essentially is like, Mom, you make me sad. We don't get along. I think I should just stop ever talking to you. And you're like, ow. And at first you think, oh my God, she's gonna let her. Because part of it is almost like, well, is it you're gonna finally listen to what your daughter is asking of you, which you have not done up till this point? But we also know on the other hand, like, that's gonna be really sad. And there's like other avenues. So it's tricky. And at first she's like, all right, bye-bye. And then she's like, wait, no. And she does this really, again, it is a little backhanded of a compliment, but it ends up being a compliment where she's like, you are aimless and you don't do anything I say and you have gained some weight. And also like, I don't really understand anything about anything. Your tattoo's stupid. But even though all of those terrible things are about you, I still love you and I want to be with you.
And Becky's great.
And Becky's cool. And Becky's just like, hi, I'm Becky in the background. I don't know anything.
She goes,
That's
Becky,
going on.
grow out your hair and everything's fine.
But it's really sweet. And then Joy says a line where she's like, what's the point? If I'm so terrible, like, why bother? And that's when the mom's like, there's so many other Joys, but I want to be with you. She's like, there's a million things I could be doing, but I don't care. I want to be with you. And you're like, that's really a sweet message.
Yeah, I just want to be here.
I just want to be here. Enjoy who you're with. Enjoy the ride. Ugh.
Wow.
And then, Waymond too. She's like, yeah, I like you too now. Okay. We're back to being married. It'd be nice.
I want to watch it again, if I'm being honest.
So good.
I want to watch it again, and I want to see if I see anything different. I love movies that surprise me. I was not prepared for about 50% of this movie. It was so different. And I don't know if I said this, but the directors call themselves like maximalists. Oh. And I think that very much is this. It's like,
what does that mean?
It means, like, you know, like a minimalist is like, I barely use a lot of stuff. A maximalist is like, you're having like a rainbow rug with a polka dot ceiling and like a giant balloon animal in the middle, and that's your room.
It's just like such a crazy, unique movie, and it's listed as action adventure comedy, but I feel like it could fit into like anything. Sci-fi and you know, like drama, you know, like there's so many other things. It does so many things everywhere, everything. It does it all at once.
I will say though, I felt it got a little much with the like the comedy was reaching, but it didn't spend too much time. Yeah. Now I was annoyed because I watched this with Mose, and he did not like it, Kate. His argument was it was too long. He said, "I wish it was like 40 minutes shorter."
I don't know what you could like cut out though. I mean, I feel like you would cut out some of the fun stuff if you did that though.
Exactly.
I like those pieces. I'm glad we had them in there because I laughed too. Like I feel like it would have been more of a downer if we didn't have some of that. Raccacoonie. You can't cut out Raccacoonie where she gets on the chef's head and makes him run.
When she gets on his fucking head, I died. That meme you sent me,
it's amazing. That should be a Halloween costume, people.
We don't even need to ask the question, folks. You better watch it. You gotta watch it.
And I predict Oscars will be won. I hope lots.
I'm ready for it.
It's really good.
Let's do it.
Ooh!
Woo!
Well, Bridge, we did it. Now we're not going to...
I'm actually Alpha Bridge.
So. Okay, I was going to say we're not going to another universe, but okay. I have our next pick. Our next movie will be our first movie in the month of March.
Wow!
Bridge,
how are we in March?
Oh, we are. Bridge, you know me. I like to force things and play the cards and make us all do stuff. But listen, all right, I'm not going to force us to do this all month, but I'm going to take one episode and I'm going to make it a musical March episode. Okay.
Oh, I love that. I always thought it was going to be horror.
No, that doesn't rhyme with March. Or doesn't start with the same letter.
March. Sorry.
We have been in... Where have we been? We've been in like the 90s a lot. I mean, this was our nostalgic pick, but we've kind of been like 80s and 90s for a while. Bridge, we're going to the 2000s. Okay?
Wow.
This is 2007. This movie still fucking slaps. This music still fucking slaps. It's PG. I believe there was another movie of this, so this is like the most modern remake, I guess. A lot of stars. I can't read you the synopsis or the description because you'll know what it is. But what I'm going to tell you, Bridge, is I just can't wait one more moment for my life to start. Moment for my life to start. We're doing Hairspray. I'm singing Good Morning Baltimore. Sorry. We're doing Hairspray.
Wow, I didn't know where you were going. Is this John Travolta?
Bridge, it's John Travolta.
Oh my God.
You know, he's married to Christopher Walken.
Wow.
We got Zac Efron. We got Michelle Pfeiffer.
Wow.
We got Queen Latifah.
Wow.
We got John Travolta. We got Amanda Bynes. It's girl killing in the 2000s. We got James Marsden. We got Brittany Snow. Did I say Zac Efron? Because I blacked out. We got Allison Janney. Jerry Stiller. He's there too. My God.
Wow. Kate, I don't know if I've seen this.
Are you fucking kidding? You've never seen this? Are you serious?
I've seen it in like pieces. I'm like, okay, I get it. She's like a big girl and then she ends up like singing and dancing, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched this whole movie.
Do you know Good Morning Baltimore?
No.
What? Oh my God!
I have been living in a rock in a universe with Michelle Yeoh.
Well, Bridget, I'm gonna sing another song. Come on, Bridget, to the 60s. Whoop, boop, 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 boo, 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 boo. Go, mama, go, go, go. Sorry, I love this movie. These songs are so good.
Wow.
I can't believe I've never seen this. My mind is blown.
I feel like this is all I know is I saw an image of John Travolta and I was like, why doesn't he just live his life like he wants, which is as a woman?
Well,
anybody just making
maybe one day he will.
Okay.
Maybe one day he'll marry Christopher Walken and they'll sing weird songs. Oh my God.
What a wow, from Everything Everywhere All at Once to Hairspray.
Going to Hairspray, y'all.
I don't know what universe this is, but it's definitely not this
It's
one.
ours, baby. Get ready. Oh my God. Well, it is on HBO Max, just so you know. So
I'm ready for it.
Don't panic.
Got it. I'm not.
Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
If we were getting audited for our podcast that doesn't make enough money to report on taxes. And Deirdre's like, guys, like, I don't know, karaoke machine, guys, like, come on. I would bake her cookies.
Oh.
I would remind her that in a hot dog hand universe, we're like living together, so be nice. And I would hire a professional to do our taxes to fix it so we can avoid all of that. Because I love you.
Wow. Kate, you were given some real Timon and Pumbaa Waymond vibes.
Oh, they are the BFF award winners.
I imagine in another universe, they all coexist. Am I right?
Well, I could totally see Waymond living with Timon and Pumbaa in the jungle. 100%. Well,
I'll tell you, Kate, if you bought that professional and they were like, wait, who keeps buying all this merchandise and sending it to your house and then making it a business expense, I would create secret receipts in another universe so that it looked as if we weren't buying our own stuff.
Wow.
You're welcome.
I love it. Oh, and listeners, if you also love cheating the tax system.
No, we don't do that.
Well, just kidding. We're not rich people. That's what rich people do. We don't do that. Okay, if you love Michelle Yeoh and if you love all the other actors in this movie and think they should all win all the Oscars ever, and if you think that we should petition to have a Raccacoonie movie made with Michelle Yeoh, I just want to watch that whole thing as a movie because I think it'd be really awesome.
Hell yeah.
The raccoon could still be a puppet that talks. I'm fine with it. It's great. You should write us a review. You guys with me? Did you go to another universe? You still here?
I don't think they're
all right.
There. Okay.
Yes. Write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So we are entering the month of March. No theme, but March is a long month. Get your recommendations in there, y'all. Anything you want us to do?
We're ready.
Anything, do it.
We do it all. That's
we'll do
for
it.
sure.
We do. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee in this universe, which is money, and you can also get merchandise that is from other universes, movie inside jokes that then become your universe if you bring it, if you buy it. Yeah. Thank you for that.
It's everywhere. It's everything. It's all at once with coffee and merchandise. Yes, so check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Hairspray.
Yeah.
Sings. You can't stop the beat ever since the whole world began. And when I'm shaking my man, and I'm gonna shake it, Jimmy, and the minute I can't do that. I cannot believe you've never seen this. Raccacoonie. You can't stop the beat.
Ooh.
We're gonna sing a lot next week.
You.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.